let's talk about index annuities. Equity indexed annuities. All right. Now, if I have money, again, let's go to $100,000. If I have $100,000 in the stock market or in a mutual fund, all right, and it goes down or it goes up 10%, right, then I'm going to have $110,000. And if it goes down 11%, all right, I'm going to be back to my $100,000. And then if it goes back up another 10%, right, now I'm going to have 110,000 again. Now, and that's great, right? Now I take that same 100,000 though, all right, and if it goes up 10%, then I'm going to have, and without the fees and everything else, and we'll talk about that in a second, but I'm going to have the same $110,000. Now, if it goes down 11%, what do I have?
$110,000.
I still have $110,000. All right, so I haven't lost any money. Now, if it goes up 10%, what do I have?
$21,000.
Actually, 10% would be what, $11,000? Yeah, so 121,000, yep. And that's the difference on using the index. This is you talking about an annual reset. Right? So for what we're talking about here is if we had, say, an index of 100 and it went up to 110, then went back down to the 100, you lost 11%. Right? Then it went back, up again by 10%. And that's exactly what we did here. So this is a way to show them how indexing works. All right. Now, even if there's caps on this or administrative fees, the spreads, whatever you want to call them, and let's say I lost 2% here. So now I only have 108,000 because they charged me a fee. Or maybe it's an 80% participation rate or whatever. All right, so now I have 108,000 here, but if it goes up 10%, all right, even if I have the 2% spread, I'm still going to go up by what, $9,000? So I have 117,000. 117,000. So again, which way am I better off? That make sense? And that's the beauty of indexes. At the annual reset. And the point-to-point is going to be basically the same thing, because at the end of the point, if you've earned 110%, or got a 10% gain, you still may only get 108, 107 if they average it, depending on how they do it. And then if it goes down, you don't lose any money. But then if it goes back up again, you're still going to get that averaging. And so you make $8,000, $9,000, whatever, you're still going to end up with 117. So no matter how you look at it, if you're in the market, you're going to lose money. All right, or in this case, you just ended up breaking even over a 3-year period. Here, you're actually going to make more money. So if you look at it, what we're saying is, it's like gambling. If you go to the blackjack table you bet $100, and if you lose, you still have your $100, right? But if you win, you get the winnings also. How long would you play at that game?
Forever.
Any questions? All right, well, let's say we have $100,000 again, and it's in the stock market. And let's say over the next 7 years, that it grows to $200,000. All right, based on the rule of 72, right? That's about a 10% average per year. And that's what they'll say that you'll average with the S&P 500, right? There's an average of 10%, so you get 20% one year, 3% next year, 8% another year, and so forth. So let's just say you average 10%. So now you're up to $200,000. Now, if you look at the equity index product, right, at the same $100,000, and let's just say that you average, well, in the equity index, because of fees and loads and caps and everything else, that you only average 7% over those 7 years. So that's what, a 50% gain, not counting compounding? Right, 7 times 7 would be basically 50%. So really with compounding and everything, you're gonna maybe talk about $60,000 growth. So now you have $160,000 in the index. And you say, well, I would have been much better off in the stock market. Yeah, you might have been. Except, we have down years. Right? And let's say we don't have a bad down year as we had in 2000 and 2001 and 2002, where the S&P lost 40 or 50%. Right? Let's just say it's 20% just in that one bad year. What is this down to if I lose 20%?
60.
160. What is this down to?
150.
Same 160. Right? My point is, you're always going to have down years. So even if this goes down, the stock market goes down, or when the stock market goes down, you're going to lose money. So the beauty of the index is that you're going to, because you don't have the down years, you're going to stay relatively the same place. And if you had a 40% down, like we did 2000, 2001, 2002, where would this be? 120,000. Where would this be? Same 160. So what you're doing is you're hedging your bets here. Because you don't have the down years, this will always, or should always, outperform, or at least do as well as, or close to as well as this. And you're always going to have some real bad years. I mean, you look at the stock market, what the S&P does, 1 out of every 5 years is down. And we did it only 1 out of 8 years, right? Because we said 7 years of straight growth, averaging at 10%. And by the way, I'm looking at only 7% average here. Now, most of them are averaging what, 8, 9%? So which way am I better off? Or which way is your client better off? Now, could you show your client this? And get them to understand it? That's the beauty of the index. Now, if I'm taking money out of this, which one would you rather have?